Okay guys, here's your answers for the control structure scenarios. I've just done challenge 1, 2 and 3 from the other day, not the other 2 easy and difficult for the last challenge. Hopefully from these ones and the previous video answers, you'll be able to get an idea of if you're on the right track. So challenge 1, I've cut out what you were asked to do, but essentially it says using the multi-way case control structure, develop an algorithm in pseudocode that'll output a grade based on a score. Okay, so you were given that table. If I find it, it's one of these here. Where are you? Here we are. You were given this table in the scenario. It said use the following, table to be able to find it. You have to make a choice at one point in time. This doesn't need to loop. You don't need to assign your grade multiple times. You need to make a choice once and break out. So in that case, you have to ask yourself the question, is it a choice between 2 things or more than 2 things? In this case, my grades can be A to E, so that's 5 things. And I just simply need a case where statement. It doesn't really matter if you did this 100 to 0 or 0 to 100. It doesn't actually essentially matter if you did it in a random order. As long as you have the condition and a colon and whatever you want to do. Okay, so they're the real important things here, that you have the conditions going down on the left-hand side, a colon, and then whatever you want it to assign. Like whatever, if I'm meeting that condition or that, I want it to select that, what am I actually going to do? You'll notice that my begin and end are on the same indentation. So is my case where control structure. You'll know I start with case where, I'll end with end case as per the course specs, and then it's indented again with those things. Challenge 2. Like in those other scenarios, I realize this is actually quite complicated. A really good example, I've done a common mistake as well, and I'll just explain that. So using a pretest loop, so a while and an end while, as you've been told, develop an algorithm that will output all the numbers between a range of 2 inputs. For example, if it's 6 and 10, the program will output 7, 8, and 9. Okay, and it tells you input a low number, input a high number, and then do a pretest loop. So this is a common mistake. Okay, it seems logical to start with. So begin, input my low number. Let's just say I'm going to annotate my my algorithm like I really shouldn't, but I'm just gonna pop, I shouldn't put an equals there, I'm just gonna pop a note for myself on the side just so I can keep track of things and test out this algorithm. This is a really good idea, guys, that you do it as well to make sure if your logic's right. So in the example it says 6 and 10, and the answer I want to get from my logic is 7, 8 and 9. So while low 6 is less than 10, yes it is, that means that this is going to start a loop. Low equals low plus 1. Now why have I put that there? Another really common mistake is this. Okay, so while 6 is less than 10, display it. Now as I loop around for the first time, display low, that means the first number that's going to be displayed is 6. The scenario says it has to be between a range of 2 options, or between a range of 2 values. So the first number I actually want is 7. So if I swap these 2 lines around, I go low equals low plus 1, low now equals 7, then I display low. Cool, that works. First number I've displayed is 7. Now is 7 still, so low becomes 7. Is 7, this is just, by the way, me keeping track of it. Is 7 less than 10? It is. So 7 plus 1 is 8. Display 8. So far we're on the right track. Go back around again. Is 8 less than 10? 8 is less than 10. So I add 1 to 8. Now I've got 9. So I've got 7, 8 and 9. That's fantastic. So low is now 9. Now, while low is less than high, 9 is still less than 10. So actually what's going to happen is low equals low plus 1. So now low is now 10. Display 10. 10 is not less than 10, so then it's going to break out. However, you might have noticed there I've just displayed 7, 8, 9, and 10. So while initially that looks like okay logic, it's actually going to display my last number. So the correct answer and how to get rid of or get away from that is while exactly the same as everything else, but while low is less than high, -1. Okay, so while low is less than high, -1 will get me the correct logic, and will essentially break out of that loop, but not display 10. And the last challenge was a super duper simple, easy one. It looks complicated, but there's 3 steps that happen no matter what, and that's inputting a base and a height, doing the area formula, and displaying. It does not need to loop, check, select, or anything. So that is actually just a super simple sequence control structure, which was that first one we went over the other day. And that's it, guys. They're the answers.